Vodafone presents the pre-match.
Indeed, welcome back to ESL One Birmingham, home of the UK's first ever Dota 2 major. $1 million on the line, of course, and the iconic trophy to lift on Sunday inside the NIA. The arena will hold plenty of lovely fans from the UK with their own special brand of humour and songs, no doubt, as well. I'm looking forward to Verses of Vindaloo on Sunday morning. Before then, though, we've still got to get through the group stages. We're going to move into our decider matches very shortly. Our first match of the day is Spirit versus Fnatic in Group A. Blitz is back with me once more alongside Purge. Gents, before we get to this, I just want to talk meta, because we've had a lot of patches, and we're getting them every couple of weeks, other than when we've got majors. Gyrocopter sits as the most picked so far with Leshrac up there. There's no real surprise in those two, but has anything stood out that's changed maybe from MDL even a week ago?
A little bit more Shadow Demon. I guess Axe is kind of fallen off. I feel like we don't see Axe at all anymore. Like Doom is like the offlane hero, and other than that, people are worried about matchups. Brewmaster's been getting really popular again. It's kind of dominating as like the second tier, but still really strong offlaner. Do you have any ideas?
I don't think anything is too surprising. I feel like you want these heroes that can scale and also team fight. Like the meta's almost swung back around in sort of that way, because there was a point where you went a little bit more farm heavy, but Dota's like a flat circle, right? Everything always just eventually comes back to what it was. Because what ends up happening is teams start picking a lot of team fight, then the meta switches to something that punishes that a little bit by farming a little bit more, and then you get a little bit too much into the farm and it just swings back around.
Right. Are you on board with the Undying Rise that Capitalist was talking about yesterday?
We saw it, what? I think I saw it personally twice yesterday.
Yeah, it was twice.
Once with EG, and what was the second game?
Optic.
Yeah, it was late on, and it looked good.
I feel like Undying's a really weird hero, because this hero in the early game is really strong, and in that game, the weird part was that it was incredibly effective late game, right? But part of it was that there was no real natural hitters of the Tombstone, and so like the double Tombstone had a lot of value, plus like the 14 hit thing. Yeah. But I think as a whole, it's a really weird hero because it can't be your 4 position. It has to be your 5. Normally when you pick a 5 position, it's like heroes like Disruptor or Lion or Witch Doctor that come with like a stun. This hero doesn't really have a disable, so you have to kind of draft around that fact. Like the rest of your heroes have to pair with the fact that you have that Undying. Like your Undying has no disable, the lane control is pretty good, but the kill potential, like it starts to really fall off, right? So it's a really oddly specific hero. It only fits a few certain situations, I think.
The one really good thing he does, though, is help Rosh him. You just get a Medallion or a Solar Crest, you turn your ulti on when you Rosh, and then you amplify your team's damage. That's one of the other really good things about him going into the late game.
Yeah, I like that. Maybe we'll see him in the first game of the day, which is where we're going to move now. We'll start with Fnatic. Won the game yesterday against EG, and you kind of go, okay, that's a good marker, Will, isn't it? Because we were talking about that EG Fnatic game as being one of those, this could decide their fate in this particular tournament, and it kind of has, in a way, with EG leaving. But then they come up against Virtus Pro, and they look pretty ordinary. So how do they reset today and play a team, actually, that got here very late and were a late replacement for Na'Vi, but did very well yesterday?
I don't think there's a lot of shame in looking bad against Virtus Pro, right? They're probably top 3 team in the world right now, alongside Liquid and I guess LGD right now. If you just look at recent results and overall consistency throughout the year, I think those 3 teams stand like heavily on top compared to the others. And so I don't know if you necessarily look at those games and go like, well, I mean, Fnatic got a little bit outclassed, but they're still a good team. They helped engineer EG's demise from this tournament. I think overall they've been getting slowly better. Aside from that like recent hiccup where they played with Adam at Starlighter, where they didn't look too impressive, but overall, I think as long as they have the right mentality, they're just like, guys, we got outdrafted and outplayed. These things happen. What can you do about it?
Is there more pressure on them now, Kevin, now that they've seen EG fall out, and actually their stock has risen in terms of getting DPC points, and they've got Spirit here, with all due respect, a late replacement that Fnatic should beat and therefore advance? Is there more pressure now because
it's hard to say. I would say there was a lot of pressure on them the last 2 tournaments because they were sitting at a position that wasn't great, but everybody else that was contenders with them dropped the ball big time. So now they're like, are they going to be the 3rd team to drop the ball? Right. That's kind of the way that I look at it, or do they just need to get a win? I'm not really sure how to see their position in the tournament, but they're definitely a team that I have a lot of faith in terms of potentially getting a 1st place win or streaking really hard in the tournament. But I think it's going to be really hard against a team like VP, who looks so dominant this tournament and every other ESL lately, and a lot of the other tournaments I go to, that I just feel like getting past that VP final boss is going to be really hard.
I'm not going to tell you who it was, but I had breakfast this morning with someone.
Was it me?
Well, it was with you and one other. You know who I'm talking about, but I'm not going to say publicly who it was because I think it's unfair. But this is a player with one of the teams that are already through, and he said, you know, half jokingly, I think, as long as someone can knock VP out on the way, hopefully we get to the final and then we can play anyone. Maybe we can win this thing. And I think that's isn't that what all the teams like Fnatic are thinking?
I mean, yes, but at the same time, like you gotta aim for the best, right? I think that Dota players, I mean, it's a very competitive game.
Okay.
You're playing for a lot of money.
Let's bring up our other team, which is Team Spirit. And these are very late replacements. These guys got here as late as 1 AM yesterday after getting their passports and visas sorted out and flying in. So congratulations to Team Spirit on even getting here as late replacements for Na'Vi. But then did the unthinkable yesterday and actually beat EG 2-0 to stay in the tournament now. And that's terrific for them.
I think if you look at that result and it was a 2-1, you'd be like, maybe a little bit of a fluke. But the fact that it was a 2-0 versus EG, they genuinely outplayed them. They had 2 different drafts. They grabbed some older strategies that really do work right now. I thought that was really impressive, and they deserve a lot of respect here.
Yeah, lots of experience in this team. You've got G in here, Uladan in here, Phobos in here. I mean, it's a lot of experience. These guys have been around the block. They know how to play a tournament.
If you took them and went back like 3 years in a time machine, you'd be like, there's Virtus Pro guys.
It's an insane team.
Yeah, they are.
Is it like Lil for Beaver?
Yeah, it's like DK Phobos and Illidan and G and F and G. It's like literally 4 out of 5 Virtus Pro from their previous the VP glory days.
Previous iteration. Yeah, the one that everyone says failed. But they were, you know, really good players back in the day, and to see them come together now like that and put a result on the table against EG, that's good.
They were very dominant in that. The VP series was whatever. Sometimes like the thing about VP is they're going to make people look a lot worse than they are just because of how their playstyle normally goes, right? Because they snowball really hard. They're going to take these team fights and you're just going to get overwhelmed. But I think that game was a little bit of a misnomer. I think the EG series showed a little bit more about what they were about. This is an aggressive, good team. They play good Dota. They have varied strategies. I think G is finally starting to come back into his form. There's a time period where this guy was talked about as like a top 3 mid laner.
Yeah, and people were talking about him as potentially the best player in the world at one point.
Yeah. Like during that TI2, TI3 area, remember just how dominant he was? Yeah. He never lost lanes. And then you saw this, like, for whatever reason, there was a somewhat precipitous drop off. Everyone started, like, you started getting new players like Sumail, Miracle, everyone just started popping up. And we forgot him about a little bit, but I mean, he's come back in a big way, knocking out EG in one of the first tournaments that we get to see him in the DPC. Very good player. Yeah,
both him and Illidan had great games individually yesterday against EG. We're going to get to the draft momentarily. This is why the Spirit, in some ways, are a dangerous opponent for Fnatic, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that being in this position for Spirit is fantastic. You don't have a lot to lose. Yeah. You got here in the last second, so your expectations are just pretty much like, well, we weren't supposed to be here anyways. We get to play a little bit of spoiler. I think it's nice from a pressure perspective because everything is on Fnatic right now. Fnatic, they're playing for their TI spot. All the cards are in their favor. I really like what Kevin said where they're the last team that gets to control their destiny, one of the last ones. They're barely outside of that edge. They know all the stakes. There's a lot of pressure on them to perform. Whereas Spirit's just like, well, we literally rolled up 2 days ago. Yeah. We had no idea we were going to play this. I think you told me like they rolled into London like hours before.
They've been here less than 36 hours.
Yeah, it's like, what are your expectations at that point? You're just happy to be here.
Yeah.
Your team's here. You've made it. You've beaten EG. There's nothing for you really to be worried about. You've already exceeded expectations by not just getting dead last in the tournament. I think it's a really freeing feeling.
I kind of played down the first win that they had. Really over that. I was like, oh, they beat EG in one. This big underdog, like no expectations. But closing it out and putting it into this moment, it could be really big for them if they win the set.
All right, our opening draft of the day number 2 here at ESL One Birmingham is underway. The group stages, of course, coming to their close today with the other games going on Stream B. Just a reminder for you, they will be the first place decider matches between Virtus Pro, OG, and Optic. We're focusing on the decider matches in each of the groups, which will start off with Spirit and Fnatic. And you were saying Axe has kind of dropped out, and we've got a first pick.
This was a hero they used in Game 1 versus EG, and I wasn't able to catch that game super detailed, but it's an easy opener.
Yep.
It's a little bit different than a hero like Doom. It's a little bit more, I dare say, active in the lane, actually. Doom is more like, I'm going to slap your carry with Infernal Blades and continue last hit, but Axe is more like, I'm going to kill and pressure your supports constantly and then start cutting creep waves, and he can accelerate a little bit faster in a game than Doom can.
I think he's one of the biggest beneficiaries, too, of the 2-on-2 style. Because before, when you were tri-laning a lot more and focusing on the mid lane with your 4 position, Axe was useless. Because you could so easily beat this hero with just 2 heroes straight up. But nowadays, like, you just battle hunger and run at the support. It's incredibly strong.
Chen.
So I'm actually also very curious about Fnatic's opener, because this looks just like the EG versus Spirit draft. Spirit opened, or at least had an Axe in their game. They were against a Warlock and a Spectre, and that's maybe one of the offsets that, like, if you're going to battle hunger spam somebody, throw a Warlock heal, that'll offset some of it.
I think Warlock is coming back in a big way. It's a strong laner. In the 2-on-2 situation too, he provides a heal. His right click is quite decent. His attack animation is one of the nicest. Ever since they nerfed Witch Doctor like crazy, because Witch Doctor used to have all that, right?
Yep.
He had a heal, he had good offensive potential. Like you could kind of work around it because Maledict or his heal were both so strong in level 1. And now, because of how much they nerfed his Maledict, it's a little bit more geared towards, like, if you just want a pure heal, Warlock is your guy. He's got good team fight too.
What about the Chen pickup, though? It's something I don't think it's been touched much this tournament so far.
I was thinking it hasn't been touched at all. We certainly haven't seen it on the main.
Take a look.
Main stage, that's for sure. I think I'm racing you to get you there. Yeah, we haven't seen any so far. It has been banned out 4 times.
That's the interesting part, though, about having a wildcard team like Spirit.
Yeah, yesterday when they went with the Axe, they did the Axe Sky open.
It's like one of the most common.
Yep.
Although people don't run it as much anymore.
Yeah. I think it has some mid-game troubles. See, like when we played against it in the Battle Cup the other day, my laning stage was really hard to support. I was playing Disruptor, but like once it got to mid-game and we had a 4-staff, it was kind of like, I don't really care that much. As long as Axe doesn't find like the openings with the Sky sitting behind him, Sky just doesn't feel amazing.
The good news though about Axe is that he counters most of the cores in the game. It's like you play Juggernaut or any hero that just like has a ton of right click, you get a Blade Mail. It's the most value thing in the world, right? It's the same when you get to play against those mid heroes like Linas and Storms or SFs. You just straight up kill them every time.
I wonder whether Fnatic decided to remove the Shadow Demon here, which has been very popular for Spirit. They used it as their 3rd pick yesterday twice. It seemed to be one of the teams favouring that hero, which we've said earlier on in the pre-show is on the rise a little bit.
Yeah.
I think it would be a little bit too weak for them to have both a Shadow Demon and a Chen. I mean, they'd have very defensive abilities to like send back Disrupt kind of a thing, but they need a little bit more damage follow-up than that with the Chen opening. So I assume it's going to have to be a support that can do a little bit more. I think the Lifestealer ban from Fnatic is obvious because they've already got Axe. They can dive, and it would allow them to set a lot of tempo and kill Spectre multiple times in the early mid. Lycan is kind of similar, able to pressure heroes like Warlock very easily without Warlock being able to defend himself.
Sanking gives you a good amount of team fight too. It's like you're lacking a little bit with, at least like when it comes to the early mid game, without having to just straight up use ultis. You need a good hard initiation. It's like Warlock, I think you rather use him as like the second follow-up rather than just like hard initiating with the rock. Like you want a really nice Fatal Bond setup for that hero.
They do go for the Shadow Demon either way. It does get better against the Sand King because then at least you can cover somebody that gets gone on.
It's nice against Spectre too.
Yeah.
You're just still, he's good against all the Radiance carriers.
I'm not sure. I haven't played SD versus Spectre, but I don't feel as confident in him as like the ultra carry counter like he used to be.
The break is nice still.
It's true. Yeah, it's a really good point.
And you're when you break into Soul Catcher, it's like one of the few ways to really kill these like hardcore tank carries.
Does your ultimate always apply break, or isn't that only with Axe?
Is it only with Axe?
It just auto dispels now.
Hmm.
It doesn't apply break until you get Axe, I'm pretty sure. I can check though.
Tell you what I'm looking forward to. At least once in this series, please give me a G win runner.
They used it against EG game 2 to knock them out.
Yeah, X gives break.
I see. Darkseer.
So most likely going to be Sand King Darkseer, I assume, as a dual lane, which means they can pressure the Spirit safe lane, which should be fine considering that their supports are Shadow Demon and a Chen.
It's really weak tri-lane. Or supports a dueling with that.
Shadow Demon's been doing a little bit better than I've expected. If they can pair him with some kind of high damage carry, something like a Gyro, then it'll be fine. Because then with Soul Catcher, you can amplify that.
Where do we go then for Spirit? They've been favouring the Luna.
Yeah, Gyro or Luna is what I was thinking.
Yeah.
They're kind of similar heroes in use right now. I think Gyro might be better here just because he has a little bit more AoE. That way, if Fnatic pushes, you can clear the creeps a bit faster. But I guess not sure if Luna is better against Spectre than Gyro.
Is there a consideration for what else they've already got? The SD.
Yeah, I guess with SD on your team, Luna makes way more sense.
Yeah.
The Luna's annoying to play against Darkseer though, whereas like Gyro doesn't really care about the wall.
That's true.
But it comes down to like what your lineup is better with versus what their lineup is better against. Because of course the Luna is much more effective with the SD.
Yeah, I would just argue that Gyro is going to be way better at fighting the Fnatic heroes. I feel like having a homing missile in this game is just going to be nice to like set things up a little bit, or to guarantee disables on another hero. Like you do like missile into disruption and then the missile hits without them being able to run far.
I would agree with you. If you're going like really out of the box or something. Oh,
That's
okay.
good.
Yep.
So with Shadowblade, Sark becomes a huge ganking presence. He kind of fulfills the thing that Fnatic wanted to stop by there being a Lycan, is that Slark's just going to hit Warlock routinely and probably kill him during the team fight. You can Pounce Leash on Darkseer, you can dispel things like Fatal Bonds and Sanking Stun, and then once you upgrade to a Silver Edge, then you do have an easy break.
Yeah,
Kill
I think
Spectre.
he's really nice against all their heroes. Like the Darkseer, just like you get rid of his escape mechanic, can't really do much about it. Just like the Fnatic heroes, they don't have, the thing that annoys Slark a lot is just like this instant initiation and a lot of follow-up. And what do they really have, right? Like to kill him, you would need at least one more hero with some sort of disable. Before that point, it's going to be hard. Like, yeah, I think his laning phase is actually going to be a little bit annoying. It's not going to be the easiest lane for him to play against, but once he gets over the curve and he gets a Shadow Blade and he can just farm neutral camps, I think he's going to be fine. But Fnatic will have the last pick, so this is the benefit here. I think Fnatic really thrive when they allow Abed to play this like GG hero.
How does the Visage fit into that Spirit lineup?
It's okay. I
Yeah.
think it's pretty good, actually. It would kind of fit like the tempo of a hero that goes around killing.
They need something that can push towers as well, so the ban on Death Prophet, I was thinking Dragon Knight is the obvious one that screams out to me too. Dragon Knight's not bad this game, I would say, for Spirit.
I would say DK is pretty reasonable.
You
You're
know
gonna have to pick
the
first.
other thing this team do, by the way? They are a brood team. Not that it necessarily fits here, but
They have a lot of different ways to
Yeah.
deal with Brood, though.
Yeah, Sanking and Darkseer are really strong.
yeah. Just one to think about in this best of 3 for sure.
If I had like absolute last pick and I was Spirit, I would take something like Storm. But they take Lina.
This is okay as well. Like
Okay.
as long as Axe or Slark are the ones that are initiating and Lina's getting a follow-up, it's easy. Shadow Demon combos well with it. If he ganks mid, just a simple disruption is actually amazing for setting this up and guaranteeing kills.
Fnatic need a killer right now. They need something that can hunt.
I mean, I think Spectre is going to be really good at hunting this game, just like Iron Shell haunts, things like that. He can get a lot of early kills, except for the whole haunt cooldown thing. But yeah, they need like a gap closer, a stun follow-up, something like that.
If you want just pure lane, you could take something like TA. But you would be farming for quite some time.
You'd be countered by Slark, Dark Pact. I'd argue Axe is pretty good against it too. It's not bad though.
I mean, Axe is just like the counter core, like we talked about. You get a Blade Mill and you're really efficient against pretty much everyone is the issue. I don't know, maybe you grab something like Tinker and just play that kind of game as well. That's what I was advocating for yesterday, but...
Something Hex against Slark could be nice. But his comes out a little bit late.
Yeah, alternatively, you could work off the fact that they only have like 2 stuns, pick something a little bit greedier that'll have a harder time.
I mean, they have really good team fight between like Darkseer, Sanking, Warlock right now.
Yeah, you could do something like Lush too if you want more
Lush
follow-up.
Bend,
Slush Band.
first phase. Definitely would have been good. Very good against Slark as a whole. Just kind of like, doesn't matter if he uses the ultimate, he's still taking damage.
Yeah.
Tanky, disable, team fight, stun follow-up, something that fits those categories.
A Storm.
Okay. Well, Iron Shell's pretty good on it. His lane should be moderately stabilized. The roam, as long as you don't get ganked a lot by Chen creeps. I think he should be okay in the lane, if I'm not mistaken. It's not bad.
Let's ask the Storm player. Is this a Storm game?
Yannis, did you say Storm? I thought so too, but it's a rough Storm game because the lane really sucks. Lina versus Storm feels really bad. All right, ask him first. I actually want to think about this for a second.
Purge, apparently you're going first.
I gotta pull for my Shadow Demon boy. That's it. Bye, Shadow Demon.
So I think Storm, I think Blade Mail Axe really destroys Storm. Like all the talents that you do and stuff like that. But I think that Spectre, if you initiate with the Spectre first and you get the hits off and you can cancel that, and then the Storm can follow up, then it's an OP fight. So I do think Fnatic are going to be able to do this.
All right, okay. Split decision between our two panel members. One's gone for the Shadow Demon, one's gone for the Storm, as you'd expect, perhaps, with their hero pools of their own. Time to bring in our commentary team for your opening game and opening series as well. It's the British duo. We've adopted him for the week of Fogged and OD Pixel. Gents, it's all yours. Interesting draft to start things off.
You know what?
It is.
It's an interesting draft, and I feel like I actually just saw this draft recently. At GSC, we have 4 of the same heroes on Fnatic, and Spirit has a similar draft that EG had. Pretty much identical on both sides.
Well, we have it. Let's see if it sort of goes the same way, if we're going to see something a bit different in this one. Fnatic versus Spirit. It's sure to be a fun one. I mean, look at Fnatic's draft. They got the team fight. They got the wombo combo. We're getting some Universe Darkseer, some DJ Sand King. What more could you ask for? And then over on Spirit, we've got some classic heroes. I mean, yeah, well, this is sort of the G Lina. This is something from the past. This was one of his heroes that he just used to absolutely destroy on.
Oh, yeah. And, I mean, Illidan on Slark, too. We've got a bunch of different, like, signatures. Phobos on the Axe. I mean, we haven't seen, you know, Phobos is kind of coming back in the scene, but he was one of those guys that played a lot of these, like, very tanky strength offlaners, too. And Axe was one of his favorite. But, yeah, I literally just was like, I'm looking at this draft, and I'm like, this is just screaming to me the draft. So I'm going to, look at this. Looking at the draft that we saw from Fnatic versus James, they had it's very similar. They tried to use the Spectre to initiate, so they see the Slark and the Axe, and then they're going to get the Storm to get a Hex eventually to deal with that Slark.
And of course, for those that don't remember, Fnatic did end up winning that game.
Yes,
of course, against EG. So
EG was winning for the most part, and then it got to a point where Abed's itemization, he went BKB into Hex, Kaya BKB Hex, and then as soon as they got the Hex, game was over. So I think Spirit, they have to play very aggressive, and they have to keep the momentum going. I think with this Chen, with this Shadow Demon, with this Lina, they need to keep the ball rolling, make sure this Slark can have an excellent game, so they can keep this Spectre and this Storm shut down.
Look at this G, setting up with the Light Strike onto Pi as he walks up. Doesn't look like Phobos wants to chase down with the committal of maybe putting the point at the Battle Hunger. Looks like he may not even need to, because G again landing another Light Strike array. Shadow Word Heal is there on Pi. Is it going to be enough to keep him alive? It is.
It is.
He's living for now. And G will not continue to chase. He will turn his attention back towards, of course, that middle lane. So Pi does manage to get away from them.
The Blightstone was almost enough, that little bit of minus armor, but he tangoed as well as the Shadow Word, so got that extra regen.
I mean, wow, look at that stat. Undefeated with 3 of the heroes they have it. I mean, we know that some magic can certainly come out from that Darkseer Sand King combo. Fnatic, arguably, probably one of the best teams with that sort of just 2 hero combo. Because to be fair, not a lot of people are running the Darkseer. But Fnatic, when they do, it's a Universe Darkseer.
I mean, it's yeah, exactly. And it's extremely strong at defending your towers, and like the panel mentioned, it, overbearing amount of team fight that's going to be coming out.
And this is a tough lane for Illidan's farming, isn't it? Against a Darkseer and a Sand King? This is not fun as a Slark.
I think they might actually have to just give the Axe like a bit of a head start and then just ditch him, and Chen has to go help that top lane, because I actually think that Illidan's really going to suffer up here.
This is a nasty, nasty lane indeed for him.
Like, once they start, like, level 3, even maybe level 2, they're going to start putting a lot more pressure on. Level 1 Ion Shell you can deal with, but level 2 starts being a little bit more...
Mid lane, Abed playing incredibly aggressive here on the first wave, and it's working out, getting that sort of first CS advantage over the first wave coming through between the 2 of them. Let's see what Phobos can get done here. MV just getting in, trying to look for a bit of harassment. It's obviously the early couple of levels where the Axe is sort of approachable, but once Phobos has a few levels down here, he becomes a bit of a nightmare for the Spectre if him and Vive are able to get in the face of Envy.
So it seems like I guess they're just going to keep it. They want to just make sure their Axe gets early timings. They're going to be playing around mostly as 4, as we usually see the Slark's going to try to get that Shadow Blade early on. We see Fnatic, of course, they sentry blocked that hard camp to make sure that Chen has to walk away further to get a creep. And Viver actually gets like probably one of the best creeps. I mean, the tornado creep with this, the harassment's very lovely.
It's a good job that Envy has got Pi here with the heal. So he does have that bit of sustain really to allow him to stay down here. And Pi is going to have to consistently keep it spammed out on him with the amount of harassment coming out from Viver and Phobos.
Oh, Penitist and I actually did not know the tornado was called Tempest. Okay, well, I just learned something new. The ability is called Tempest.
There we go.
That is a lot of damage coming
I love what it looks like.
It says tornado.
The ability is called tornado, but I guess sort of the debuff or the damaging effect of it is.
Yeah, I've never moused over it
Tempest,
before
yeah.
seeing Tempest, so that's cool.
There we go. Learning something
learn
every
something
day. It's an educational stream here, ladies and gentlemen.
Phobos, what's the call? Throw some harassment on Tenby. The Penitents too. Should be fine. You see what Pai's been doing too. I think he brought like 3 clarities to this lane too. So he's just been non-stop Shadow Word. I mean, this is this is an oldie but goldie, I like to call it, because it's something we used to see like Dota 1. There was people were just about sustain, so you pick this lane. Now it's a Tempest. Interesting.
Oh, because the Tempest is the passive of the Tornado, because the Tornado is a unit,
sense.
essentially, isn't it? Because you can
Excellent
control
observing.
it.
Thank you for pointing that out.
There we go. So how's the mid lane looking at the moment? It's still Arbed with the very slightly G keeping up.
He's doing great.
But I was going to say, arguably, the fact that this matchup, as sort of the panel touched on, it should be tougher for the Storm. So this is Arbed just playing the matchup very well.
I mean, Arbed is one of those guys. I mean, he's incredibly good at these lanes. So, I mean, this is huge, right? Like Will was saying, as a Storm player, he's like, this matchup.
This is the lane.
This is the problem.
Yeah.
So
Arbed, doing very, very well in this 1v1.
I like that he goes for the bottle. I think that's the really important thing. It's all about the sustain, because you're gonna get pushed out. You're gonna get out harassed. You have to be able to match it somehow. So that's a really good approach there by Arbed.
Storm, of course, being one of those heroes as well, that's going to make it a little easier for Fnatic to sort of have the edge when it comes to those 5-minute bounties as well. Having that mobility, making sure that you can sort of get the rune advantage when the 5-minute mark comes around if Arbed's in the neighborhood. Top lane, Illidan, despite the pressure, he's getting some farm out of this lane. He's getting more farm out of his lane than Envy's getting out of his down bottom.
He's doing a really good job. I mean, it's getting pushed under his tower constantly, and he's just last hitting there, but yeah, I'm surprised he actually hasn't been dove more. Right up there. Mid, the rotation's coming out. Viper's got the troll net, he's got the stun as well.
The setup from the disruption, FNG buying time for the large striker rate to come in from G. They're ready to dive into towards the tower, and that's your first blood, G. They needed that for G. As we said, you know, Arbed was doing very well in the mid lane considering the matchup, so a crucial rotation pays off. Spirit able to get that bit of an edge and momentum back.
It was. Oh, FNG's getting chased out by DJ here with an Iron Shell. This could be FNG's death. He doesn't have the disruption up. One more hit. Oh, 20 HP.
Oh, can he deny himself?
He's pretty slow.
He might be able to deny himself. Oh, he can't.
That's
DJ.
a long-range claw.
It certainly was. That last little touch coming in time.
Didn't get the same, but like in the mid-rotation that they did there, that gank was actually really cool because the Chen showed himself bottom in this ward. So Shadow Demon went left, so Arbed thought he was safe for a little bit longer.
Bottom, making a bit of attempt onto Envy. They've got the call after the stomp. It is a lot of damage. Are the spins going to quite be there? Doesn't look like they will. Again, the Shadow Word. Just strong enough from Pai, that level 2 Shadow Word now, keeping Envy alive against a heavy amount of harassment.
Beautiful.
No surprises there. 2k healing done, of course, by Pai. Literally
Already.
using Shadow Word off cooldown.
I mean, he's...
How
many clarities does he have?
It's got to be a lot.
That's got to be like 4th clarity or something.
I mean, he needs it, and it's sure, Envy, he is suffering a little bit in that lane, but he's still getting something out of it.
Yeah, they're going for the dive now, bottom.
See if they can get him this time. As with the 3 of them, DJ is going to come in response, but Envy's already down. Team Spirit get away with the core kill. Bivo will happily draw the attention away from the other 2 as he'll sacrifice himself to DJ and Pylai die, but Spirit, they got what they wanted. They're able to punish Envy. They don't really want to lose a second though. Phobos is getting chased a little bit by DJ. Hellbear Smasher gives DJ the clap, and DJ will back. So they're keeping Envy down. They really are, Spirit. They're doing a good job of dealing with the spec.
Yeah, counter helix with the Soul Catcher. Pretty remarkable to just shred through that Spectre, even though he's got so many shields coming out. Trying to set up something here on mid. FNG.
It's hard to do now. Arbed level 7. Want him again. I mean, Phobos with the level advantage now. He can play very aggressive.
Illidan's looking for Universe. They've got him cut off too. He is very dead.
G comes in as well for the finisher. Quick Dragon Slave to claim the kill for his own.
They were contesting each other at the neutral camp, and Illidan actually like hopped over, almost snagged him with the pounce, and yeah, FNG was already rotating. So this Phobos is gonna have a very early blade mail.
I think the definite worry here for Fnatic is the fact that Envy is having a slow start. Team Spirit have done a really good job of making sure that Envy doesn't get sort of the dream beginning as this very sort of farm-oriented hero, the Spectre.
Illidan.
Top lane as well. DJ.
He's looking pretty
He's
dead
got
here.
this haste, and he certainly is. Fnatic. Going in, the two of them there, you can't underestimate the rundown potential of a Darkseer Sanking, and as we said, and as we saw with the stats, the combo that Fnatic are incredibly confident with.
I hope we get to see some pretty cool tricks this game from like, not really cool, but like the send home disruption. We have disruption with Axe, so we can use the the illusions to push waves out. A couple fun things.
Arbed's, he's headed down here with a rotation. He's looking towards Biver. DK Phobos is
stun.
there. Indeed, the stun will hold him back. They've got the call as well. It'll buy some time, but still Arbed, he's got a lot of mana in the tank. Zips forward, claims one. Phobos will be fine as he does preliminarily get sent back by the Chen. At the same time, up top, G comes in with a rotation, a quick ult on to DJ, and the rotation from Illidan misses the pounce. He's got the Shadow Dance to give him that movement speed to try and close this gap, and they do have the Dragon Slave and will get the kill. A little sloppy. Illidan just slightly off the mark with the pounce, but they still get the job done.
Yeah, the stun was off the mark, off the Shadow Demon disruption. DJ stunned away as it happened, so made them work for it a little bit, but they do get the kill inevitably. And there's Phobos is continuing to just stay down here. This such early Vanguard. He can now just stand in front of Envy.
And I think the thing is as well that Fnatic have definitely got ways to deal with the fact that Envy hasn't had that sort of brilliant start, because they do have Arbed, who has had a brilliant start. Despite the odds, as we talked about in the matchup, this Storm is definitely looking to have the momentum he needs to sort of create the space and just cause the chaos that's going to grant the area for Envy to farm without any sort of interruption from Spirit. This Storm is a big problem. So the panel undenied because of the matchup, as we and in terms of just it being a good Storm game overall, it really is. There's not a lot of lockdown. Arbed can just get ahead and be very hard for Spirit to control.
There's a decent amount of heal though, in a way, which can be kind of obnoxious, right?
So there's save, yeah.
There's like the save, the Chen heal and all that, and the Shadow Demon disruption. Those things can make Storm's life a little bit, a good amount harder actually, to be honest. And here in Epicenter, DJ.
Oh, they'll try for it. Not quite getting the Burrow Strike. Still a lot of damage with the Epi, and Envy is going to come in as well with the Horn. They want the kill, they'll get it. And Envy, he'll be kind of happy that DJ didn't get it straight off the bat, because that meant that Envy was able to get the kill bounty for himself.
Yep, that was very nicely done. And that's the way they're going to be able to always get Envy back in this game. Is always be able to use the Haunt, and they have, like we were talking about too, is so much team fight coming out with them.
And so much setup and initiation. DJ or Arbed, whichever one goes in, zipping in, burrow striking in, there's always going to be sort of the setup for the Haunt to follow up, and yeah, as we saw, Envy just getting the kills.
The vision game that comes out from Fnatic when they want to take a fight is incredible. They've got like a long ways to start the fight with the Sand King, the Warlock, and then of course the Haunt is going to give them all the
top.
information.
Illidan's come back in, but Envy, DJ, and Universe, they're still there. And Illidan, he will be safe for now by FNG with the disruption, but it's not going to be enough to keep him alive. He's going to go down straight again after returning to the lane. Now Envy's just standing his ground, punching into FNG. He'll have to back up the same time. Arbed kills off G. Team Spirit, they've lost 3 across the map here. Fnatic getting mobile and getting active with their cores, and Phobos, he's up here alone.
They're using this Ion Shell and the triple melee to really try to go for this pressure.
DJ, they're sort of playing around with Phobos. He is pretty beefy with the Belt of Strength and the Vanguard. He's got the stick charges. He'll turn with the Battle Hunger onto DJ, but DJ comes in. You've got to watch out for those spins. Can they finish off this kill? Doesn't look like they're going to try for it. Just a little too tanky, but still, nonetheless, that's 3 kills up and down the map, getting the tier 1 tower. I believe Arbe getting a solo kill, as it looked to be at the same time, onto G.
I mean, that's pretty massive. This Storm Spirit, if he has a good game, I'm pretty sure he could do the similar build that we saw that last time. The Kaya into BKB Hex. Maybe he won't need the BKB so much this time, but could still be an option.
Yeah, this Storm is... He's looking a little too far ahead for the likings of Team Spirit.
Yeah, like I was saying...
This is a great start for Arbed.
Yeah, Team Spirit, I think that they want to be playing at a decent amount ahead. They have to be able to make these moves around. They don't want this Spectre to get massive, and they don't want this Storm to be able to just jump in with the initiation, because if they use Haunt, they always will be able to get the jump in the fights. If they see the Axe, that gives freedom to the Storm.
See where they head to next. I mean, Illidan trying to find the sort of safest place to farm on the map. He's moved over to Fnatic's half at the jungle down bottom. But it's a scary map for him to be out on. Look at this, the smoke from Fnatic coming in. They've got vision on Illidan. They're looking for the setup.
6 on Warlock too.
They killed him 2 times in quick succession up top. He's only sort of just been able to get back out on the map and start farming again, and they're opening up onto him. Can he get himself out of there? He hasn't got his TP at the moment. It's in his backpack, so we'll try and switch it in. Even if it was there in time, he wouldn't have made it because the Burrow Strike would have been there for DJ, and they catch out Slark again.
And they're going to make their move toward mid. Starting to drop down here. They do have the Golem available, though.
Got the DG on G, making quick work of the tier 1 tower. We'll find it, and they will back away, so...
Universe is quite tanky already. Dominator, Buckler,
pretty
Vitality Booster.
I mean, this is what we sort of expect to see when we see Universe on the dark side, isn't he? He's very good with his farming patterns.
Yep. I mean, they put so much pressure with that dual lane and with the Envy rotation.
Can they get this kill with this smoke? It's a bit of a tricky one. If they do have the Laguna. Is it enough? Yes, it certainly is. There we have it, the Wombo coming down onto Envy. They'll find the pickoff on Suspect at the same time up top. Phobos getting run down by DJ and Universe. He's got backup coming in though. FNG TP's over to the Shrine. And again, Phobos, like Universe, very beefy. These 2 offlaners, not really easy kills for either side to just go for.
He did the same build yesterday, I think, that I saw. He went just the Treads into Vanguard, into Hood, and then he goes for Blink Blade Mail, so...
I guess sort of what...
Frontline.
Yeah, relying on sort of the catch potential of the Shadow Demon. And also sort of got like the pounce, the sort of the slow from Chen and the control from his army. So a lot of other ways to get yourself in. And as we're seeing, it creates this offlaner that he just doesn't really die at the moment, Phobos. He can farm very aggressively wherever he wants without sort of the Warrior Fnatic coming in.
Yeah, I feel like maybe the Hood might be overkill, to be honest, this time. Because he's got Treads, the Vanguard, and he's going to go for the Hood. This Blink is going to come out extremely late for them to go find those pickoffs. Because right now their pickoff is going to be, like you said, the Shadow Demon and Lina. They're not going to have the Axe involved in that until he goes for it. So I think the Hood might just be a little overkill this time. But we'll see if it pays off. He's going to finish it up. But now this is where Fnatic, they're getting a decent amount of space, but the net worth is...
It's evening off.
Yes,
I mean, it is a very close game in terms of the overall difference. It's, as we said, sort of just the hero matchups and sort of the way that the game's going with regards to how maybe Spirit would have hoped to with their lineup at 14 minutes in.
Both teams seems... Yeah, look at the adjustment this time too from Abed. So he's not just going to go the BKB because it's not the same. The other time that he did it was versus like a Skywrath and stuff. Yeah. This time I think he knows he can be a little bit more greedy. He can go for Orchid into Hex. He'll need the Hex though, pretty early on to go for that Slar. Both teams content with farming. I think Fnatic is a little bit more keen on fighting since they've got this Blink Dagger now in DJ. So they've got a really good way to start fights.
Spirit able to get free of the 15-minute bounty bridge. So a nice little burst of heal for them. Crimson Guard nearly done on Universe. Ooh. So we'll help out that little bit extra against sort of those fast but furious punches from both sort of the Slark and the Lina. Not hard hitters, but very fast hitters. So that Crimson Guard block will do a lot.
Smoking through their jungle here to get rid of this Axe. They know how much he's worth.
He's a beefy one. He's a tanky one. But with 4 heroes, they should have a pretty good chance of taking him down.
Oh, yeah.
And there you go. He's not going to be a quick kill.
Oh, man.
I mean, he should be a kill. It just takes a lot of work. I mean, maybe not. There's the time for G to come in, but they will drop the Golem. Phobos still alive for now. Envy does come in. There'll be a defensive disruption from FNG buying some time, but Phobos incredibly low will go down. They get the kill. Can they get anything more out of this? DJ coming in with the 2-man Burrow Strike. Envy coming forward as well. Rival will bring the army forward. Arbeck goes straight into the midst of it all, but he is going to die, but he's set up for 3 kills. Arbeck sort of giving his life there to allow Fnatic to keep the fight going, knowing that sort of the strength is there and making sure that Envy is just getting involved in the action.
DJ wants more.
They found the jump forward. They're going to be able to get it as well. A triple kill for Envy. That was a suicidal play from Arbeck, but it absolutely paid off. He wanted to keep that fight going. He wanted to make sure that Envy could get the kills, and they did. They get a triple kill for Envy on the Spectre, all going to plan for Fnatic.
I think that's absolutely worth it for Abed. Sure, he gives up 500 gold. He's top net worth of the game, but the game is about the Spectre. It's about Radiance. You get your Radiance. Yep. I mean, you pick this here on the first 2. Yeah. That's what you want.
He's now got, what, 2.8k gold, Envy? Thanks to sort of that last little play.
Yeah, and there, like, the Hood actually bought a lot of time on Phobos. He was very hard to bring down, but inevitably still gets chased.
And it sort of worked out against
Envy. The scan on top of himself. They know that they're going for this play.
So they're trying to go on Phobos again. He is very tanky. There is time for the rest of Spirit to come forward. They'll drop the Demonic Purge down onto Envy. Phobos trying to close the gap. Illidan goes in with the pounce.
They're all bound.
Can he finish off Envy? But indeed on the back, they've got the Fatal Ponds out. They're taking a lot of damage in response. Envy still alive. Finally goes down to the Dark Pact of Illidan. They have killed off the Spectre here, Team Spirit, and Illidan will be able to get himself away. So, 2 for 1. Phobos, can they keep that man alive? Looks like they will be able to. Viper with the slow. Keeps him out of this and will be able to send DK Phobos back home. So they do kill Envy, and, and of course just as important as it is for the Spectre to get these kills on the road to the Relic, if you're able to kill him whilst he has sort of got this gold built up, it's huge. You can't let this Spectre get any sort of decent timing on the Radiance this game. Yeah. So sure, you lose 2 kills, one of them is your G, but you are slowing down the Spectre.
Yeah, they have to play, they have to be making aggressive moves. Yeah. It's really, like, if the Slark or the Axe had died there, that would have been pretty devastating. The Fatal Bonds by Pi there was perfect. It hit all 4 of the heroes. I was like, oh god, if this Epi hits 3 people, this fight's completely over. It caught 2, still was pretty damn good. And that's the, this is the combo we see and love a lot. Like Darkseer, Warlock, Sankin, we don't see it that much anymore, but when you do see those big combos come out, it's pretty nice.
Getting a nice couple of Ancient stacks here, Albert.
Not the usual Ancient farmer, it's a triple Ancient stack, I believe, that he farmed up, right?
Yeah.
Fatal Bonds helps a lot, but...
It's going to put him closer and closer to having that Orchid.
Look at this, man. Can we look at how much more healing Pi has done whenever we get a chance? Like,
it's got to be, what, 10K?
Pi's on fire with all
might not.
Look at that.
6K.
6K. I mean, that's still pretty damn high. It's only 18 minutes in.
He's doing his work with a Shadow Word.
Damn, they were quick on that. Look at that. How was our timings? So Relic is almost done. Orchid almost done on Abed as well. How's our Slark? So he's got the Shadow Blade. I'm assuming that Mithril Hammer would be that BKB.
Must be, yeah.
And we almost have the Blink on Phobos, so that's going to be a big tool for them to actually set up, as well as the Shadow Blade on Lina. So this will probably be where we see them getting more on the aggressive. But Fnatic just has just such stronger team fight.
Oh, their team fight is phenomenal.
Yeah. To get the D ward. Now they know that Fnatic was smoked there, though, because they smoked through and dropped the sentry, and they saw nobody there. So get some information out of that.
Universe punching into that tower with his
that
plus 90 damage,
90, yeah.
It's nice.
It's a pretty much double damage.
Can he get the last hit on it? Oh, yes, easy.
Come on.
Easy.
He's got the Cardi as well. They see the Chen creeps, so they're just going to go for the Chen creeps. Oh, okay. Well, they got most of them.
How about Smashy gets out?
There's a 70 HP.
Spirit at the moment fully over Fnatic's half of the map down in their jungle, just sort of sitting behind Illidan, making sure the Slark can get the space and farm to finish off that BKB. As they'll go for a smoke themselves now, starting to head up towards the top lane in response to Fnatic being over here. See if they can get a grab onto them. 3 members of Spirit, FNG leading the way. He's got his eyes on Envy. So that Envy does have that relic. He's very close to the Radiance.
This would be the perfect time for them to kill him.
Set up from FNG.
A bit far on Phobos, though.
There's going to be the Haunt. Envy jumping around, trying to trick him, and he's done it. The quick double jump, they're not quite sure where Envy is, and now the counterplay comes through. Universe heading forward, gets the vacuum, they've got the wall and the epicenter down to Phobos. He's got the hood, though, so it doesn't take too much damage at all. Illidan pouncing forward, Crimson Guard's out, and Universe jump forward from Phobos. Does get the call onto 2, but on the back lines, there's the golden drop down. Onto Biver and Illidan. Hand of God comes through from Biver, keeping Team Spirit alive. They are going to look to send back G, but G's already down. Arbeg kills him quickly. FNG with the Glimmer Cape will be able to duke him away for the time being, but Illidan won't be as lucky. Arbed gets the double kill. Phobos still trying to play around with him as he goes for the Berserker's call, but they'll surround him, and with 2 dead on Spirit, there's no chance of keeping Phobos alive. 3 gone.
Oh, it's an awkward initiation. Spirit, he goes for the disruption, but Phobos wasn't in range for the blink call yet. So Envy just quickly does the haunt play, jumps back and forth.
Very nice haunt player.
And now this game just looks so much harder.
I mean,
Spirit can't take team fights.
No.
They just cannot take head-on fights versus this. Fnatic has the greater ways of starting the fight in every possible instance. They can either haunt, they can Sanking, they can Darkseer run in, they can Warlocks jump, or Storm can jump in. All of their heroes have better ways of initiating.
Yeah, they can't go as 5, and they can't go alone, Spirit, because for the similar reasons. This Storm, Arbed, he's massive now.
Yeah.
And there is the Radiance on Envy. Fnatic, they've just hit their timings with their heroes. We saw Spirit trying to do their best to punish the Spectre down bottom, and it always sort of sucks to point a finger, but you do sort of look back towards that mid lane and say, Arbed just he did have the better time against G. He played the matchup really well in the 1v1.
He solo killed him.
Yeah, G was not having a great time against this Storm, and is coming back to bite Spirit. This Storm Spirit is having a beautiful game now, 7-2-4. It's become very hard for Spirit now.
Like when you're a team and you have, let's say, like Lina versus Storm, and you make a rotation with Shadow Demon Chen and you kill the Storm, and then the Storm solo kills your Lina, you're in trouble.
Something's not happening right in that middle. I mean, it's as I say, it's hard to call out G because it's Arbed Storm. You know, this guy he's a bit of a wonder child, Arbed.
I've seen him win lanes that you should definitely not win. So yeah, full Radiance now, 20 seconds until Fnatic does have that Haunt available. Good look to take a fight with that one. And there's still no, like, I don't know. The Axe build, I feel like it's just a bit too delayed, right? I understand he wants to be this tanky and everything, but I do feel like they had to be faster in this game. They had to play very quick.
Absolutely, because sort of the defensive build as well has sort of lent them towards team fights where it's not really benefited. Because sure, he stays alive, giving time for the rest of the team to turn up, but Fnatic, they're normally happy with that. They're like, sure, bring your friends, invite them all, because we've got the better team fight.
Yeah, and if he gets fatal bound to his teammates, sure, he's tanky, but then he's killing, like, they're killing each other.
Yeah, I think, you could absolutely make the argument for an earlier blink on Phobos.
Because the only reason I say is because they, like, looking at their lineup, they want to be ahead in this game. They don't want to take it late versus a Storm.
You had to be running at this spec. You had to be running at this Storm earlier on, because now these two cores are an absolute nightmare for Team Spirit to deal with.
Yeah. Still continuing to try to farm up our Slark. Illidan almost has the BKB.
Got a blink on Universe as well now, so the full team fight combo really coming into power now for Fnatic.
It's like they have 5, well, I'll give them 4 initiators and a counter initiation with the Warlock. We can be an initiator too, so it's like, it's pretty much 5 initiators.
I mean, as we saw, as you said, and as we saw in the stats, this is the Fnatic draft. This is their lineup. They got their heroes. I mean, it's hard to say whether or not Spirit did the homework, because maybe they did. Maybe they sort of knew this was coming and they felt that they could have sort of an answer to it. But so far, it's looking a little rough here for Spirits. Fnatic are executing their lineup to pretty much perfection.
Yeah, I mean, this was a little bit more, I would say, more convincing than the last time when they played this similar lineup when they were playing versus EG, but it's, the nature of the matchup in a way. Whenever they can get the Axe doesn't get the jump, the fight's very, very difficult for Spirit. And he's going to always have trouble with that.
Well, see if Envy comes out here, because FNG and Illidan, they are.
No, he's here. Poison hit, catches him.
He does have Haunt if he wants to sort of play his way out. He's taking a lot of damage, jumps across to FNG, and in fact, he may just get FNG. No, FNG's able to TP out. FNG will get out of there, but FNG and Illidan don't get the kill. And meanwhile, in the base, Arbed, he's going in. He wants G. He's going to be able to find him. Zip-zapping into the base with the double damage rune. Takes down G. They'll even drop the chaotic offering here as well. DJ with a follow-up power strike. They're playing right underneath the tier 4s. The aggression from Fnatic with the edge that they have. Forcing out the buyback from FNG. They will back off for now, but again, sort of these fights, I mean, once the Storm is out of control, how do you play your game as a Lina? You just get zipped on every single time. More than enough follow-ups there with the blinks on DJ, on Universe. How does G keep himself alive to get any spells out?
He needs BKB. That's like BKB Shadow, any Shadow Blades away. That's the way he can try to find some survival. But he might get killed just inside of a combo of like one Vortex. And that right there, they went for the gank on Envy, but that actually turned into a counter gank because Envy's Haunt gave them the vision for Abed to just jump in onto G. So, definitely looking, I mean, just harder and harder and harder in this game. It's been about 9 minutes of Fnatic just dominating. See that net worth up at 10K, experience just a bit more, lots of green dots. Not a whole lot of Spirit success.
Hex getting closer and closer. Still 2K gold away, but once that is there, it's not only G that's going to have the hard time to play the fights. Illidan is going to have to be incredibly careful and has to be sort of overcautious and coming out with the early Shadow Dances, BKBs, because that Hex will come through upon him. Yeah. Otherwise.
I mean, the way we'll see the fights happen when that Hex comes out, it's going to be Haunt, and then Abed's just going to zip right on top of him. They're going to Reality with the Spectre, and that's a dead Slark if he doesn't get the Shadow Dance or BKB off before the Hex comes out.
You pretty much have to pop it as soon as the Haunt comes out.
Yeah. And Envy's going to go for the same, the usual Radiance Manta build, so whoever he does Reality on, he just pops the Manta and all that damage from the Desolate. It looks like, Spirit, they're trying to farm up. They don't really want to take a fight into an Aegis Storm, of course. but this is just setting them. Even though they're gaining more net worth, it's like their map control is diminishing.
Understandably, just keeping themselves together, but just sat beside Illidan. And Slark is sort of their hope at the moment, but it is a sort of struggling hope against the scaling cores of Fnatic. There's a lot of hard things that Illidan's going to have to play around in these fights.
They've got Blink and Blade Mail too on the Axe now, though, so that's going to add a lot of damage, at least in their fights, which they've kind of been lacking. But it is at a, it's at almost 28 minutes, so let's make it harder. Abed still sitting there with the Aegis as well as that regen rune. They still have about a minute. They're just keeping Spirit in their base. They're like, Envy, you farm the map. We'll sit right outside. Don't let them really get anything.
Zipping up for a quick bit of vision. Keeping both this mid lane and top lane shoved in against Spirit.
How long for Aegis? 50 seconds. Maybe Spirit tries to go for a timing on that one.
They
But
did scan the high ground there, Fnatic. And we're looking to try and follow up.
He's got the regen rune. He's ready to fight.
He is, and DJ, again, beautiful angle, comes in with the 2-man burrow strike. Illidan does manage to put the BKB, starts to focus towards DJ. Can they get DJ out of there with the surge? It looks like they will be able to. Blinks back up. He gets himself away. Illidan can't quite find that pickoff. He's trying to chase. Dust comes out, though. DJ making sure that Illidan does not feel confident to chase. And indeed, that dust usage from DJ there, allowing Fnatic to find Illidan, turn it around. DJ. Beautiful dust there, right on the edge, puts a stop to any sort of chance of Spirit getting a kill out of that.
And Abed, during that entire fight, he kept the regen active, did not get hit, so he had the mana to actually be able to jump and help his teammate there. Now the full Hex is finished, and ooh, Slark versus Hex, not fun. Level 20 as well now on that Storm.
I mean, what do you do, sort of, do you think, in terms of going into game 2? When you sort of look how this game's gone, you said, right, mid lane, it's going to be tough for G. There is, even if we sort of given these matchups, I guess they've got to try sort of a different hero. Do you think we'll see maybe even prioritization of a support, sort of making sure that Abed suffers at the start?
I just think they have to play faster. That's kind of what I'm like. I just felt like they got to a point where they slowed down too much in Fnatic. They just have this overbearing team fight. Sankin gets Blink Dagger, and then Spirit just doesn't have anywhere that they really want to go. So maybe having a better building hitter could be something that allows them to play faster, because they've got like Chen and Lina as their building hitters, which is kind of awkward. So maybe seeing that Luna would have been a more comfortable hero for them, but I do think either way they could have played faster.
Let's have a look. Envy is out alone here. Illidan and FNG jumping forward. They'll claim the kill. Catching Envy out on his own. Abed is going to come in with the counter play. There's the Hex straight in and punishes Illidan. So sure, they get that Envy kill. It's obviously going to be a trade that technically favors them in the numbers, but still, they need a lot more of those sort of pickoffs.
FNG got the kill too, so it would have been pretty good if Illidan got it, because it was like, what, 700 gold or something? Yeah, 708.
Just need quite a bit more than that, Team Spirit. A 1-for-1 core trade is not going to swing the game back in their favor.
Ooh, Envy gets a double tome.
Is he going to use him himself?
Yeah, more than likely. It gives him his...
I guess it'll give him 20.
Yeah. Gives him that health talent, and then he's not going to die nearly as easy. And now he's got Manta too, so he's going to have a lot more liberty to survive with and do. They do go for those plays. Abed, quick jump up onto the high ground. Get some scouting information, and FNG will send some Axe Illusions to push out the wave.
See where Abed's able to go next.
How close is he to that little... Oh, he's just shy of 20, but Abed jumps in.
He does, and immediately with a Hawk follow-up, they find themselves a quick and easy target. 2 straight down out of Spirit as G and Biver hit the deck.
On Illidan. They can't find him.
And they've got the creeps here, so they'll be more than comfortable with just focusing on the push. They know that there's not much that Slark can do to stop any sort of pushing coming out from Fnatic's lineup.
They just, I mean, they can't start the fight. Like we've said it time and time again, too many forms of initiation on Fnatic. This Axe just can't get the jump. Here, just looking for an opportunity. They still have got the Rock available, as well as Universe with vacuum combo.
The Radiance Illusions just making sure that there's no chance of a blink in from Phobos. Come forward with the Battle Hunger, but that at this stage not going to do too much at all to Envy Spectre. And on the back, look who's been found a little bit. Illidan does get the chance to Shadow Dance. But Abed, very quick to zip, and he's got the Hex saved, as well as the Silence, which will get Dark Pacted off, but of course the Hex will not be removed, as Illidan's caught out. Godlike streak now for Abed. 60 seconds, no Slark. I mean, as I say, I don't think there's any doubt that Spirit, they're just thinking about what they're going to change up in game 2 now.
Yeah,
This is Fnatic just taking the advantage by quite a lead.
Instant Yules.
Oh my goodness, it's... DJ says it all there.
That might have been the one chance for Phobos to actually get the initiation that we haven't seen him been able to, but...
It's done. Right, there we go.
Okay.
All right, that's a big one, but there's the vacuum wall. Burrow strike combination coming in. There'll be a buyback. Phobos does indeed get the call off. He's got the blade mail. Can they turn this around at all? They've got the buyback from Biver. Still Envy sitting in about full health. The Team Universe will back off. I mean, that was sort of the Fnatic we know and love.
That was still very nice by Phobos, that 3-man call.
I even get some more out of this. It's chasing down Pylai Die. Envy is there to back him off, and in fact, Phobos, has he overstepped the mark here? Envy, does he want to chase this? He can't. Glimmer Cape will be there.
You know, Slark's back up. They're trying to disengage.
Gee.
Yules.
Might even get Envy. They are gonna find the Spectre as well.
At that.
All right, Fnatic, they've got to calm down for now. They can't give away as many kills as that. Sure, they've still got a comfortable lead, but we've seen games like this before with Fnatic. They get this lead, they play perfectly, and then suddenly things start to change. Is this going to be one of those games?
They've still got very, very strong heroes just because of the way they have so much team fight and they have so many ways to start the fight. Spirit just got very, very ideal situations there, and the buyback as well from Biver. Phobos being able to get that initiation was quite massive. Even though he got initially used, just surviving for a bit longer and being able to go back in since he got sent home.
All right, Spirit giving a bit of the life back into this game.
I was gonna pick. I bet Abed just queued up a BKB right after that, and I mean,
Silver Edge complete now on Illidan as well, so another sort of way to help deal with the big old Spectre.
Yeah, definitely can break him. G is getting closer to Daedalus as well, so being that right clicker, so he needs to keep his distance.
As we saw, as long as Phobos can get that sort of calls, the controls, so G can stand his ground and get the right clicks out, they have got the damage. It's just a very hard sort of situation to find themselves in, and one that Fnatic did sort of hand to them there, as they did zip in pretty deep, the three of them.
This is one of my favorite talents, actually, the Darkseer, the 400 AoE Surge.
Oh, yeah.
It's actually so powerful. I mean, there's so many situations.
On that sort of cooldown and that sort of, buff to the team. And here we go. Straight up with the horn. And oh, they didn't have the vision. They didn't have any detection, so we got the chance for the Shadow Dance to the BKB. Illidan still alive for now. He's manning up, and with it, they got him. They turn it around, and maybe they can get more out of this one, Spirit. They're chasing. Can they get any sort of catch? Universe will have the Surge back up in a second.
They want Envy.
Got the disruption. Phobos trying to close the gap, but there's the vacuum wall. Oh, the chaotic offering as well. Is it enough? No, Envy will die.
Abed bought back. He's going to look to jump.
FNG ticking down low, gets sent back. FNG will survive, but Biver's gone. They have managed to find Illidan. They have found DK Phobos surely as well, as they'll zip forward. All right. Now they've managed to take 3 down. There's 2 down on Spirit without buyback.
Abed bought back though, and they've got big core kills.
They'll be able to get Roshan though with this timing.
And will be a definitely worthy buyback, but we are seeing Spirit having some signs of life there again.
I mean, they
had no detection,
right? They didn't. They couldn't kill Illidan in time. They did not have the sentry down, or whoever had it on the front line, so he was able to actually get away because it was the Glimmer Cape play, of course, from FNG. Buying time for the Slark to live through the Hex and get his Shadow Dancer BKB out, so very nice play from FNG, and just unfortunate for Fnatic that they didn't have that detection on the front lines. And I think we've seen is that Abed sort of trying to deal with that. He does have dust on him now. Albeit in the backpack, but he is prepared. He needs to have that.
I think
just because of the fact that FNG's there.
Yeah, I think when he bought back, he bought a dust as he was going to zip in just in case.
Can Spirit really continue to turn this one around? It's such a hard one. I mean, you look at sort of the 2 cores. This is a 14, 4, and 6 Abed, Storm Spirit. an Envy Spectre that's still going absolutely in the right direction in terms of moving towards the late game.
Definitely needs a BKB though. I agree with this decision by Envy. I think it's actually just so powerful that if he just gets disrupted, FNG with Soul Catcher, they can just kill anybody if they do actually get hit by a combo and by disable after that with that Soul Catcher applied. So BKBs for both of the cores on the side of Fnatic. Universe doesn't really need to. He's also 5-1 and 21 on this Dark Series. He's been a little quiet, but he's been getting some, I mean, especially in that last one, he got a pretty nice vacuum combo, but...
And I think, 20 seconds and Chaotic Offering will be back there.
Yep.
Oh, sorry, 30 seconds still. 30 seconds and then I'll have that on Pi. And they can try and start looking for the fight again.
I want to see Pi survive a fight if he'd like to kill everybody, because he's got the 60% experience gain talent. I want to see how many levels he actually would get. So regen rune on Abed. I'm going to play around a bit. Wants his BKB finished. And they're feeling, yeah, I mean, they can play very confident here at this Aegis for so much longer. Spirit, you can see them, how they're positioned, everyone kind of sitting near each other.
Do you sort of like that they're giving the Aegis and Cheese both to Abed? Like, would you not like to see sort of the Cheese on Envy, so he had that sort of extra life when he's been getting gone on? Like, does the Storm need to have both at this stage? Oh, I think is he actually just giving it to someone?
He doesn't have room for his BKB.
Who's he giving the Cheese to?
I think he's giving it to Envy. Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
I mean,
Envy has, give it a,
Envy has exactly 2,500 health, so it's perfect.
The perfect value.
It's the perfect amount.
I was gonna, yeah, yeah. He was just holding it because Envy's got it now. Daedalus is complete on G.
Okay, how close to that? Well, okay, he's got the level 20. Yeah, good point. So 25%.
As long as they can keep G alive.
If he keeps his distance in the fight.
Yeah, it's pretty
hard.
A lot of damage.
It's pretty hard to keep your distance in the fight versus that type of lineup, though.
True.
The Spectre plus Storm can just pierce through.
Yeah, Fnatic really just have to make sure they get on top of G.
Yeah.
And Phobos.
Initiation. He's on DJ and Envy missed the hunt. They're going forward.
And there we go, straight away. Look who he goes for FNG. Doesn't want the chance of any sort of saves coming out, but I say that. Looks like FNG is actually going to be able to live through that first bit of a jump. Gets the chance to get the Demonic Purge out. And FNG, he's able to actually live through that, despite the fact that they put all their attention onto the Shadow Demon. DJ does come in. Big epicenter, Borrow Strike onto 2, and now we get both G and Illidan. They take Phobos as well, and neither 3 of those cores have buyback available, and that is game over. DJ had enough. He said this is over and done. Jumps in, no messing around. The perfect burrow, the perfect epi to close the game out. The Fnatic, as we said, for the most part, they looked incredible. There was sort of that instant down bottom. It was like, hang on, this is still Fnatic. But overall, very much a very smooth performance for the most part.
Extremely comfortable heroes.
Yeah.
Played it to, say, they played very few mistakes coming out, and
some mistakes when they were sort of going for that high ground push at the bottom, just getting a little ahead of themselves. I mean, that's always going to be the point where, you know, even the best of teams, they do sort of mess up. The high ground push, arguably one of the hardest bits about closing a game of Dota 2.
Yeah, I want to hear what the panel has to say about like Spirit, in particular the Axe. I felt like, you know, the tanky build is great, but having treads as well as Vanguard as well as Hood, he really delayed that blink. I really do feel like they had to be more aggressive in this game, not let the Storm and Spectre go so out of control.
Absolutely, yeah. Will pretty much been bang on. You know, if the Storm doesn't get punished in the lane, he's going to have a good game this time around, and he certainly did, Abed. On the Storm Spirit then. Back over to you, Paul.
Thanks very much, Showing. Yes, good game from Fnatic. A win under 40 minutes to take game number 1 in this best of 3. Remember, the winner goes through into the quarterfinals and is safe as far as the top 6 is concerned. So a big game for both of these teams. Fnatic starting things off very well. A few question marks over their performance, though. It was a good performance, gents, wasn't it? But it wasn't, as Fog kind of alluded to in the comments, it wasn't perfect. There were just a few little issues here and there. But you pointed out at the start of the game, if the Storm can have a good lane, he can have a good game.
Yeah, I think that Fnatic played about as good as they were going to. Like, their lineup was geared towards going a little bit later into the game anyways. Like, they have Storm, Darkseer, Spectre cores. You're not looking to end the game by 20 minutes, realistically. Sure. Like, this is kind of the game that you sort of expect, right? When you have these kinds of cores. So I think this was pretty standard overall, actually.
Okay.
The best thing they did probably was just shut down Spectre on Spirit's side. Like that was the one here I kept feeling pressure towards, like Shadow Demon plus Slark or Shadow Demon plus Lina. But other than that, like nobody really died that often on Fnatic. Pilot Eye never died the entire game, 3-0 and 17 on him. Universe died once, 5-1 and 26. Like all the focus was on Envy, and it kind of worked. But at the end of the day, in that last fight, he presses Haunt, they can see all the heroes, and then Storm gets to do what he wants until they finally get the good epicenter Burrow Strike.
A couple of points I want to raise with you in particular, Purge. The Axe build?
Yeah, the Axe build was, the Treads is okay. I mean, a lot of Axes will skip. They'll just go like Brown Boots, they'll get a Vanguard, because they don't necessarily want to get Tranquils. But delaying the blink is not really the best thing to have because you do need somebody that can create tempo, and that was one of their few disables. It was like Lina has a stun, Axe has a disable, and that's all they can do to shut down Abed, and they didn't really get to do that very much.
Yeah, and then the other one, Will, more towards you, is the G Lina, the king of Lina, some would say. He's played it more times than any other pro in history, but didn't really get to show us a huge amount in this game.
I think when you're Lina and you get behind its Storm at all, the game feels pretty bad. Just because you can't really protect yourself. She's one of the weaker heroes, just such a low HP pull. You just get jumped on every single time. Even when you get BKB, you only have like 1200 health to work with if you don't go Bloodstone. So I think that this game was a little bit awkward for him to play. Like every single time, it was their team getting jumped on. And when they didn't get jumped on, it was like Abed had a free initiation every single time because they were trying to go on to Envy. So Envy was just like, well, if I barely live and get my Haunt button off, like I've done my job. I've created chaos in the fight. Everything's fine. My Storm will pick things up. Abed was able to go off in that game. He had a very good laning phase too. I didn't actually see like how he was so dominant. I think he was even ahead.
Yeah, he was ahead in CS.
It's like that for me anyways is pretty surprising because I don't think it should happen like that.
Interesting. Is Envy getting better, Purge, at doing these kind of games? We always look for him to be the flashy one, showing us off, you know, running the game and what have you. Is he getting better at creating space for his team and being the sacrificial lamb, as it were?
Yeah, he did fine. I think his lane was heavily pressured. He was covered by a Warlock. I just don't think Spectre is the fanciest hero, really. I think his build is great. I really like Treads on Spectre. I think you need it to give yourself the ability to farm decently fast on neutrals, for example, when your lanes are too hard. And he had some decent Spectre Haunt tricks that he abused a couple times to stay alive. Like, he played fine. I don't think there's any comment you can make about him that much that game.
Okay. In terms of Spirit, obviously it's 1-0 down. Do you feel like they've got the ability to get back into this game in game 2?
Oh, for sure. I don't think that game was a wash by any means. I just think that there are some adjustments that they have to make. I really like the point that Yanni's brought up. I think that the Axe as a whole has to be more of a force in that kind of game because he's the hero that will bother the Storm the most in the game. Like when you get items like the early blink and stuff, really you just need 2 heroes to pick him off. But without the tempo creating hero like that, without getting the early blink dagger, Abed feels like he has a free game. He's like, there's almost nothing that kills me in a game like this if you don't build that kind of lockdown. So you gotta prioritize things a little bit better. I don't think you have to do anything too hard. You don't have to swerve in any direction. Like, I think it's a lot more straightforward than that.
Yeah, maybe some minor adjustments in the draft, which is where we're going to head after the break, which is coming up next. Don't go too far away, of course. This is a best of 3 between Spirit and Fnatic, but those boys chasing the DPC points. They've started well here. They're 1 up so far, Fnatic, against Spirit. We'll see you soon for game number 2.
Oh, yeah.
In they go. He's not going to be a quick kill. I mean, he should be a kill. It just takes a lot of work. I mean, maybe not. There's the time for G to come in, but they will drop the Golem. Phobos still alive for now. Envy does come in. There'll be a defensive disruption from F&G buying some time, but Phobos incredibly low will go down. They get the kill. Can they get anything more out of this? DJ coming in with the 2-man Burrow Strike. Envy coming forward as well. Rival will bring the army forward. Abed goes straight into the midst of it all, but he is going to die, but he's set up for 3 kills. Abed sort of giving his life there to allow Fnatic to keep